Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. As you guys know, Bitcoin had a massive sell-off that took us right below support, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what I think it means for the future of crypto over the next couple weeks. As we know, yesterday we had the Fed announcement where they were going to be raising interest rates. I talked a little bit about that, but today we're going to be diving more on the thought of this question, what the rising interest rates mean for the price of Bitcoin, what it means for the dollar, and then we're going to be talking about the shorter time frame for Bitcoin and why I believe that this is still nothing to be too concerned about long term. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 21,000 members and growing. Links are provided for you in the description for the people that want to sign up. You guys can also go ahead and download my free ebook and Beginner's Guide to Crypto. Links are in the description for that as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so for today's video, I wanted to kind of summarize what we're seeing inside of the market. Bitcoin obviously sold off, we're back below support, but I'm here to share with you guys a perspective that I'm sure a lot of people are not considering, specifically because there's so much emotion inside of the market. Anytime Bitcoin has a volatile move, specifically when we're inside of an already choppy period of time in the market conditions, it's going to cause a lot of panic inside the market. And so I figured that the best and most valuable way that I could make a video for you guys today would be to summarize why I believe that this really isn't as big of a deal as many people are making it out to be. Now, this over here is a chart that I basically just pulled from over here. Now, where this is taken was from right here throughout this period of time, and then this move to the upside there. Now, the reason why I'm pulling this up is because it just looks so similar to the same consolidation that we just went through. Now, you guys already know Bitcoin topped at this 65K mark, and then we had this massive 65% pullback approximately. And we went through a very long period where it was very similar to the market conditions that we're seeing today. Very choppy, very volatile. A lot of people were getting chopped up, losing their butts just because they were trying to overtrade after having taken losses in this initial sell-off. And we were actually inside of this consolidation for 2 months about before we ended up breaking out. And what reminds me so much of what we're seeing today, this period right here, this was our final move before we ended up finishing, the latter month. So we went through the first month. This was the first month, right? That was really choppy up and down, looked kind of like a bear flag. And then we started selling off, and this was our second month right here. During this second month, it reminds me so much of what we're seeing today because this period right here where we were just kind of chopping back and forth, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And then we had this quick panic right here where we had these two big red candles that came in. And this is what took us all the way back down to this support. We had wicks here. We had, wicks a little bit higher, but in this entire area approximately. But the two lowest wicks we're going to talk about right now was this one and then this one. Our lowest one was at 28,750. This one was at 30,130. And then the very bottom of this consolidation before we bounced was about 29,400 approximately. So we had this $30,000 mark that was our support. And it reminds me so much of what we're seeing today, where even though this was more of a support and then we kind of had this diagonal slope, it's a lot like what we're seeing today in the latter month of this sort of trend. And if we come down here, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Now, when we overlay the chart, you guys are going to see where I'm trying to compare. This period of consolidation here was more like this one right here. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit different, but for the most part, you had sell-off, we immediately bought up, sell-off, bought up, sell-off, bought up, and sell off, bought up, sell off, bought up, right? So we saw similar type of price action. This one was just a little bit more consistent as far as not as much wicks. This one was taking a little bit lengthier amount of time. But the latter part of this consolidation is very much similar as well. And we can draw a lot of comparisons between the two consolidations. But the big comparison isn't so much the price action, even though obviously that is a big conclusion that we can make. But another big thing is going to be the actual emotional psychology inside the market. I don't know if you guys notice it as much, but me, as somebody that actually reads through a lot of comments, as somebody who has to see how other people react on Twitter, between other influencers, between, you know, just the average person commenting, all of our subscribers and supporters out there, you see a deeper perspective inside the emotional psychology of the market than the average person generally will. I mean, a lot of you guys can go out there and find the exact same clues that I can, and a lot of you guys do. I've talked to a lot of you guys out there that are just as smart as I am and smarter at trading and investing. And that's kind of one of the big things I like to focus on in my trading plan is understanding the emotional psychology. Because if you can do that, during times where the price action is kind of confusing, where it's really choppy, you can gauge sentiment based off of how other people are reacting off of tweets, off of YouTube videos, whatever it might be. And what I'm noticing right here in this part of the consolidation is it's very similar to what we saw here, where everybody's getting really bearish, a lot of big Twitter influencers. And so for me, being a big picture investor, I've just been kind of accumulating throughout this entire cluster here, waiting for the inevitable blow off top to take profits. That's been my entire strategy, and that's kind of the thing where I still believe that we haven't had anything close to a blow off top. This isn't a blow off top. This is nothing like a blow off top. The fact that we've had such a bullish consolidation where we still have a lot of bullish divergence and hidden bullish divergence, the fact that we're getting almost the same sort of consolidation in between ranges, making higher highs, might I remind you, this is a higher high. This was a retest of this resistance. And so when we ultimately find support, which I do believe is going to be pretty close to where we're at now, if not now already, this is the type of move that we would expect to see on the upside. It's going to bounce. It might actually end up doing something more like this, where it bounces up to this resistance here, has a pullback, and this pullback could go a little bit deeper. It doesn't have to be a tiny one like we saw here. But keep in mind, guys, that I'm not trying to compare perfect consolidation. I'm here to map out how we should expect to see the price behave. And I'm here to share with you that I believe the price is going to be breaking out in a pretty quick way. So if you weren't somebody that was willing to accumulate as we're at this support, you're probably just going to miss out because it was in the same fashion that people missed out accumulating over here. Now, another conclusion I would like to draw for you guys is actually when we come up and pull up some of our indicators. Now, these are indicators I've been sharing with you guys for a little while now, and the reason why I've been sharing them with you is because I haven't really seen Bitcoin this oversold, you know, maybe ever, but it's been a long time. Even back in COVID when we saw that massive sell-off there, it was very oversold. But I haven't seen this amount of bullish divergence and hidden bullish divergence in a chart potentially ever. And so let's actually look at some of these real quick. Let's delete these. Now, first we have the RSI. Now, I love the RSI, but you're going to get some mixed results with the RSI, specifically false signals. And it's going to take a little bit longer to develop before the RSI is going to give you a clear result. Most of the time, not always, but a lot of the time it's going to be that way. Now down here we have the OBV, the on balance volume. I like to use this one a lot. I've recently been using it a lot more because it gives more clear signals. Whenever you see the OBV starting to show divergences, usually it does it after the RSI has been doing it for a little while, but the OBV is not going to do it until it gives you a much clearer signal. And in my opinion, we're seeing that inside of this chart. Keep in mind that this is something I've been pointing out for a little while now. As we've been inside of this diagonal support, we've actually seen a lot of divergence forming inside of this chart. Now we have bullish divergence forming here between higher highs on the RSI, and this is from this low over here that we made April of the 11th. Now, over here, you're going to notice that we've actually started picking up and making an even steeper sort of trend right here. And this is all happening as we're consecutively making lower lows. This is what was known as hidden bullish divergence. And it's interesting that it's happening within a bigger picture bullish divergence. And so that's the big thing that we can point to. There's a couple different momentum indicators that are showing us that, hey, the sellers are becoming exhausted. They can't keep pushing the prices much lower. Now, the OBV has been giving us signals since about the end of April. And so the RSI was flashing signals about a month behind the OBV, but the OBV didn't really start curling until it was a definitive point where, hey, this is really starting to get oversold here. And that was from this point right here. All of these lower lows that we saw there was when the OBV started uptrending here. And so we are seeing two major indicators that I've had great success at, that I've used to nail different bottoms and accumulate a lot of long-term positions and short-term positions. all of these are flashing bullish, and I'm here to share with you guys why I believe that there's a couple different factors between the comparisons that we can take from this consolidation. But the cool thing about this recent consolidation, guys, if we draw a line, you know, this is already way longer than the previous one. Keep in mind, this was 60 days. This is already 104 days, and it's, you know, it's not done yet by any means. And so we still are going to see, you know, probably some more volatility in the short term. I'm not going to even try and predict the short-term price action because, in my opinion, that's not really what matters the most. Because as we're at this support, this to me just looks like a big consolidation pattern. That's all it is. And so in the same way that we watched Bitcoin go out through this entire consolidation pattern throughout here, and it was very volatile, you, in hindsight, had you have bought virtually anywhere back here, even if you bought like up here, and you bought one of the highs, I still think that you'd be pretty happy with that investment now looking up at where Bitcoin is today. And so in the same exact way that we're in this period, yes, it looks sketchy. You might have bought yesterday and now all of a sudden the whole market's down 10, 20%. And so now you're wondering, oh man, should I buy more? Or, you know, it really doesn't matter so much because the way I look at it is, you know, 6 months, a year, however long it takes down the line, whenever we're looking at Bitcoin and it's sitting up above 200,000 and it's making this rocketing move into new all-time highs, into the blow-off top, I know that you guys are just not even going to be thinking about, oh man, that time we had that one red candle that sold back onto the diagonal support that we had bounced off of like 8 times already. You know, you're not going to be thinking about that stuff, and we never are. And that's why I like to teach you guys about your emotions, how to keep your emotions in check. When we look at the chart from the technical perspective, we can see that not much has changed. We're going to continue to stick to our main trading plan. And the second that we start to get irrational inside of our emotional behavior, that's when we start to infect our trading plan with bad decisions. And so I just don't want you guys to make those decisions. I've done that a lot in years past, and that's the point of this channel, is to educate, teach you guys how to not make the same mistakes that I did. You know, I had to lose a lot of money. I had to go through years and years of, well, basically a whole bear market after making money in the bull market, losing the money in the bear market, learning how to trade profitably during like the 2 years where everything just went sideways. You know, it taught me a lot, and that's why I want to give you guys some of that education is inside of these videos. These are the things I've learned. I like to share with you guys patterns, and this is a pattern that I think is going to be playing out. So if you guys found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server, download the free ebook. Links are in the description for that. You guys can also sign up for my video course or my VIP signals where I post all of my different trades, all of my different NFT picks, anything that I'm going to be doing inside of this cycle profitability-wise, even into the bear market with stocks, commodities, all of that stuff gets taught to you and posted inside of the Discord. So check it out. Links are in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.